Okay, so if you restore vintage Tamiya RCs, you've probably hit this wall. Those plastic CVA shock eyes on the metal ball connectors,
True.
especially on like a grasshopper to
Oh,
second.
yeah. They seem welded on sometimes.
Right, and the manuals, they give you nothing on how to take them apart. It feels like a trap.
It's more than just mechanical, really. It's material science. Decades changed that plastic in ways people don't always expect.
And the advice you find online is all over the place, isn't it?
Completely, often contradictory, and sometimes downright harmful to these old parts.
So our deep dive today is about cutting through that noise. We want to give you a solid, expert way to get these things apart without destruction.
Preservation is key. These original parts aren't getting any easier to find. We need, mechanical sympathy.
Mechanical sympathy, I like that.
Yeah.
So let's break down the joint itself. What are we actually dealing with here?
Okay, you've got the 5 mm metal ball connector. Could be steel, maybe brass.
Mhm.
Ideally, it's perfectly smooth, polished.
Any damage there makes it harder.
Definitely. Scratches, corrosion that increases friction right away.
Yeah.
And then there's the plastic shock eye, usually ABS, sometimes glass-filled nylon.
Right.
It's molded with a hole slightly smaller than the ball. That creates what we call hoop stress. It's constantly clamping down.
Ah, okay. And this is where the age factor really comes in, right? The whole embrittlement thing.
Precisely. Over decades, chemicals called plasticizers, which keep plastic flexible, they gradually migrate out.
Driven by UV light, heat, oxygen.
Exactly. All those things accelerate. The plastic loses ductility, becomes brittle. That's why a 40-year-old part behaves totally differently from a modern re-release part.
So using brute force, like jamming a screwdriver in there?
That's creating a stress concentrator.
Yeah.
You're putting huge force on one tiny spot. Microfractures start, and boom, catastrophic failure. A clean break.
So twisting is bad.
Twisting or torsional force is super high risk for brittle plastic. What you want is perpendicular force, pushing it straight off the ball. That's the mechanically sound way.
And you can sometimes see the damage starting, can't you? That milky look.
Yeah, stress whitening. That tells you the plastic has yielded, it's been permanently stretched or damaged. Or you might see actual micro cracks. Any deformation of the socket opening also compromises how well it'll hold later.
Okay, so knowing the risks, how do we actually approach this safely? You mentioned a tiered approach.
Right, a hierarchy of techniques. Always prioritize the original part. The main idea is to avoid direct, forceful stress if you possibly can.
Got it. So, tier 1, the best option.
Tier 1 is indirect, non-contact. We call it the component isolation method. This is the gold standard for preservation.
How does that work?
Instead of popping the shock eye off the ball while it's still mounted, you unscrew the whole component the ball stud is attached to, like the entire shock tower, for example.
Ah, I see. So you take the whole assembly off the chassis first.
Exactly. Once it's isolated, you can often gently manipulate the shock eye off the ball with almost zero prying force. It's often effortless.
Makes sense. Any other tier 1 methods?
Well, related is the ball stud first method. If you can easily unscrew the ball stud itself from the component, that achieves a similar result. Still very safe.
Okay, but what if you can't easily remove the component or the stud? What's tier 2?
Tier 2 involves specialized tools, the kind professionals use. The best bet here is a good pair of ball link pliers.
Okay, what makes them special?
They're designed specifically for this. One jaw is forked. It cradles and supports the plastic shock eye. The other jaw has a little nub that pushes directly on the end of the ball stud.
So it pushes it straight out. Perpendicular force again.
Precisely. It applies clean, perpendicular force. It's the safest direct removal method by far.
What about those forked tools that look like little crowbars? Forked ball end removers.
Those rely on leverage. They have a much higher risk of slipping, scratching the part, or applying uneven pressure that could still crack aged plastic. Ball link pliers are much more controlled.
Okay, so tiers 1 and 2 are the recommended routes. What about the methods we're told not to use? Tier 3 and 4.
Definitely avoid these for irreplaceable original parts. Things like grabbing it with padded pliers and just twisting. That's the padded plier twist. High risk.
And the absolute worst. The screwdriver pry.
The levered pry, yeah. Using a flathead screwdriver is almost guaranteed to cause damage. It concentrates incredible force. You'll likely get stress whitening, cracks, or just snap it.
Just don't do it.
Please don't. And another one to avoid completely. The thermal expansion method. Heating the plastic.
Why is that bad? Seems like it might make it more pliable.
It's incredibly risky for vintage plastics. You can easily cause permanent deformation, discoloration, or actually accelerate the chemical breakdown. It's just not worth the gamble.
Right. So let's say we use tier 1 or 2, got it off safely, we're done.
Not quite. Post-removal inspection is crucial. The damage assessment protocol.
What does that involve?
Look closely, maybe use magnification. Check for any hairline cracks, that stress whitening we talked about, or any distortion of the socket opening. Make sure it's still usable.
Then prep for putting it back together.
Yep. Clean everything. Mild soap and water for the plastic eyelet, a degreaser or isopropyl alcohol for the metal ball stud. And here's a key step. Polish the metal ball stud.
Polish it. Why?
Get it smooth again. It dramatically reduces friction, making it easier to assemble and disassemble next time.
Smart. And lubrication for reassembly. Doesn't need anything?
A tiny, tiny amount of silicone-based lubricant only. Apply it just to the metal ball stud.
Why silicone specifically?
Critically important, never use petroleum-based lubes like WD-40 or grease. They can attack and degrade vintage plastic over time. Silicone is inert.
Good tip. Then just pop it back on.
Steady, even pressure. Then check that it rotates smoothly.
So wrapping this up, the big takeaway seems to be less about brute force and more about understanding the materials.
Absolutely. It's a preservation mindset. Understand the aged plastic. Choose the least stressful method possible. Component isolation first. Always.
And if you must apply direct force, invest in proper ball-length pliers. It's not just about tools, is it? It's patience, precision.
And respecting the history in those original parts.
So think about this. What other delicate tasks, maybe in other hobbies or even just around the house, could benefit from that same kind of preservation-first approach? Thinking about longevity without losing the original character. Something to ponder.